we are. Hello. Hello. How are we doing? Buenas noches, everyone. Hope we are doing well on this lovely Friday. We are feeling great. Hopefully, with any luck, where we are, the rain that we've been having nonstop is going to let up. So we are in a good mood. And for that reason, we are going to be doing today. Oh, by the way, hello. Yes, it is us. Unico Era, as always, the data VTuber. And in our joyous mood here, we are going to be doing something a little different. Today. We are, first and foremost, going to hope that we don't get blasted into copyright infringement when we put on some background music for the stream to do a little, make sure there's no dead air as we contemplate the wow. What we are contemplating tonight is some good old taxes, but not our taxes. Our taxes are done. They are complete. Thank goodness. But what we are doing is we are ranking characters of our favorite addictive gambling PNG Japanese waifu / husbando game, Fate Grand Order. We are ranking them in order of whether or not they pay their taxes. We would, of course, be remiss if we did not give credit where credit is due to Ryan Mimi on Twitter. Lovely account. #1 Maeve fan, and for good reason. Maeve is just an amazing character. Loved her from day one as well, but she is on another level, and she gave us the, less of an idea, more of a parasitic infection that sort of wormed itself into our brain and has not left since last month, right around the arcade collab in Fate Grand Order, when she just posted a screenshot. It's like, we need a tier list of this stat. So we are obliging her. Now, we have not really done tier list stuff before, not even in our free time. We don't go around making tier lists in our spare time. So you'll have to forgive us a little if we're just learning, figuring out the ropes here of our lovely tier list software. And we are actually going to loop that. So, again, I'm pretty sure this is copyrighted, so we're probably going to get copy struck into oblivion. But let's put on some good old title music. Oh, and this track is literally called Title. What an appropriate name. All right. So, off the top of our head, we have 3 main categories, we feel like. Who pays their taxes, who doesn't pay their taxes, and who is ineligible. Who is ineligible to pay their taxes. So, one of those groups, very easy to figure out. But we also want to give it a little more spice, give it a little more variety. And so we're going to be doing a few more sections, columns, what have you. Ooh, hello. All right. Hello. Oh, hello. There we go. This is what we're looking for. So, we are definitely not going to need this many rows. That is for sure. Now, this chart might get a little congested, so let's try to clear this up as much as possible. This will probably be appropriate. So, at the very bottom, ineligible. Our ineligible tier. Can we make text bigger? No, but we can make it spelled correct. There we go. So, this is essentially going to be all the child servants. Or, yeah, pretty much just the child servants, right? So it doesn't matter how old they are, whether they look like King Protea here, or whether they look like Jack. Age, in this instance, we don't really think that's going to be a factor, because if you look at, there's our daughter. If you look at Jack, she's from the 1800s. She's well over 100 years, but she does not know what taxes are. She does not have any idea what taxes are. So, most of the child servants are going to go, most likely, in the ineligible tier. Whether that be, again, child servants or just probably Asterios. Just such a fluffy boy. He's not gonna know what taxes are either, and he's, honestly, if anybody is trying to get Asterios to pay taxes, shame on them. Shame on them. Alright. We are gonna make this a little low. We're gonna make this one a nice blue. And alright. Our next row up is just gonna be pays taxes. Now these are our goody two-shoes, the people who submit their taxes on time. Actually, idea hits. Pays their taxes on time. They're good citizens of their respective places of residence. So they pay their income tax, their residence tax, vehicle tax, what have you, on time. And we think below that, we are actually going to add this little nugget. Pays in advance. Oh, that is all sorts of fucked up on our keyboard. So, this is going to be the ones with a real stick, where sticks should not be. The ones who, do it they pay their taxes in January or something. Just the absolutely psychotic ones. The ones that cannot risk the possibility that they'll get audited. And so, their little goody two-shoes self makes sure they pay well before the deadline. Whereas up here, just the normal pays taxes, that's, right around the end of March, beginning of April. The normal people. Now, above that, we are going to have what are taxes? What are taxes? These are all of our good boys and girls who are well-meaning, but maybe a little dumb. Maybe just a little bit dumb, don't know what taxes are, and therefore they do not pay them. But that is not because they don't want to. That is not because they're actively avoiding it. It's because, what are taxes? They don't know any better. So, it's just a little bit above, but it's malcompliance, but it's malcompliance out of ignorance. So it's not really true malcompliance, right? Now, capitalized the wrong thing there. Title case is hard. Forgets or asks for an extension. These are the people who will pay their taxes on time, but they don't because they're a little bit slow. This differs from what our taxes differs from this category because these people know what taxes are. They've got no excuse. They've got no excuse other than that there's nothing but empty space between the ears. Avoids taxes. Now these are our bad kids, our bad men and women who do not pay taxes. They can't be bothered. They know full and well when the deadline is. They know how much they owe, and they know when they need to pay by. But they just don't. They just don't. Because why would they? Why would they? Why indeed? This is probably going to get us slewed for slander. And then, right at the top, we've got ufotable. If you know, you know. Alright, with our categories started, let's get right to it, shall we? Now, this tier list is... It should be updated up through the arcade collab. Yes, and it looks like the last... Well, it looks like we're missing a couple servants. Locusta and Satanta and Draco don't seem to be here at first glance, just at the bottom, just looking. Got Tiamat, but not those three. So, we'll have to sort of posthumously insert them where we believe them to be. But, first on the list, Abigail Williams. Best pancake daughter. 12 years old. Ineligible. Maybe a priestess of the outer gods. She is not able to pay taxes. Next, Achilles. Now, Achilles, he gives us sort of like, this is difficult already. He gives us a little bit of airheaded kind of vibes, because he's a warrior, right? From Greek mythology. Pretty noble in most respects. Amphicelia would kill us if she heard us say that, our favorite berserker. So, we are going to put him lower. We're going to put him lower because we're more afraid of Penth than we are of Achilles. But he does kind of feel like the kind of guy who would forget until like the second to last day and then pay. So we're going to put him right there for now. Alexander is a child, so he is ineligible. Amoxa. Now, you might think, well, he's a priest, right? Of course he would pay his taxes. No. No, this man is out for himself, and if he can get away with paying taxes, he will avoid doing so. So he might be on the lower end of the avoids taxes, might be, but he is still in the avoids taxes. Anastasia. Technically a child, but also technically the Empress of Russia. So she definitely knows what taxes are. But she's also mischievous. So she's kind of on the low end of... She definitely wouldn't pay in advance. We know that much. She is probably on the lower end of would pay her taxes, right? We're not convinced. What are taxes? What are taxes? She's too busy playing pranks and being a little goofball to remember to pay her taxes. And also, she's an empress, which contradicts what we said earlier. So she definitely knows what they are, but doesn't know like how to pay them, right? Yeah. So we're gonna turn this tier into doesn't know what they are or doesn't like know how to, right? Angry Mango, the original Avenger, definitely avoids taxes. 100%. No. Taxes are a creation of humanity and he is all human evil. So he definitely avoids his taxes. The two Ironsburn servants. Look at that. Love to see it. Anne and Mary, easy. They're pirates. They don't pay their taxes. Marie feels like the same sort of miss, let them eat cake. Doesn't really know what taxes are. As even though that statement might be like propaganda slander against her, she's a good girl. She's still a good girl. She just doesn't quite know how. She would have her servants do it if she needed to, so she still falls into that kind of doesn't know what they are category. Arash is a good man. This man gave his life for his heroism. He pays in advance. He's a goody two-shoes. 100%. Arjuna pays their taxes. Yeah, so if we have them higher, they're closer to the tier above. All right. Definitely lower on the tier list of avoidance than Achilles then. So that feels right. Arthur. This man has not ceased hunting for Beast 6. He is still going. He pays well in advance. He is self-sacrificing. If we know anything about King Arthur, they are self-sacrificing. They will do what they must for the good of their kingdom at the expense of themselves. 100%. Pays well in advance. And yeah, Artoria is definitely higher than Arthur, or lower than Arthur, because Artoria doesn't have like the self-sacrificing thing. So yeah, she'd be higher, a little bit higher. That's what we're doing. All right, Lily, ineligible. Well, now she goes into what are taxes, firmly in the what are taxes category. She's a good girl as well, and she would if she knew what they were. Skahak, we don't even know how to pronounce that. Definitely gives us needs an extension. She is too busy kicking Ku's ass to remember to do them. Our fluffy boy definitely deserves to not pay taxes. No question about it. Astolfo is on the higher end of doesn't pay taxes. Doesn't know what taxes are, and if he did, he wouldn't bother to do it. The man has evaporation of sanity skill for a reason. So definitely higher up here than any of our lovely ladies in our what are taxes category so far. Estrella, the goddess of justice. Taxes are a good thing. Objectively speaking, they go to build infrastructure and education and housing, government housing sometimes. And ideally, they should be used for the improvement of a society, of a nation. So I think with her whole justice thing, Estrella would be all for paying taxes. All right. Atlanta, our good berserker cat girl. We're gonna put the berserker version here because she's a little more unhinged than regular version, right? Both of them would pay their taxes because, like we said, taxes ideally go towards improving things like education and infrastructure, which has an effect on the livelihood and the quality of life of children, which she is all about. So we think the Berserker version, a little more obsessive about things, would pay in advance, whereas normal Atlanta would just, she'd do her thing, and she'd make sure she gets them in on time, but she pays them for sure. Altera. Now, Santa version pays their taxes. 100% pays their taxes. Saber version, though. Yeah, right about here seems appropriate. She's more about, she's an avatar of the god of war, so it would slip her mind a little bit. It would slip her mind. We're not even going to try to pronounce this boy's name. Gollum Man. You would. I feel like you'd avoid. It depends. It depends, right? Because if we're talking about the Apocrypha version, he would definitely not pay his taxes. He's kind of like the same boat as Amaxa, whereas, like, if he can get away with not doing so, he wouldn't. But if we're talking about the Grand Order version, the Grand Order version is a bit softer. So we do think they would pay their taxes. We think they'd be, like, right in the middle of our current roster here. Right in the middle. Babbage. I kind of feel like they would pay their taxes as well. Right next to Gollum Man. Jack. Our favorite murder daughter. Ineligible. We're gonna skip Vlad for the time being, because this is an easy one. Obviously. Now, Vlad feels like a responsible ruler. Wait, no. This is the Dracula version. Well, they both kind of have, like, this air of dignity, right? They're, like, befitting of a ruler. So, we're going to put him up near the higher end. Because, yeah, he is the vampire version of Vlad, so he's not as concerned with ruling as he is with, being Dracula. Well, he doesn't like to be Dracula, but he is. You gotta deal with it. You gotta deal with it. Betty, 100% in the same camp as Arthur. This man walked for eternity just to be forgiven by his king and carry out his duties. He pays well in advance. Benny, she's a proprietress. She's a business owner. She pays her taxes. She pays her taxes 100%. Running a hotel like she does, it's hard work. And she's got to make sure she has all her, like, certifications and licenses and everything up to date, so she would definitely pay her taxes. Ben Key would pay his taxes as well, kind of on the same level as Vlad, though. Altera definitely is like... Altera's straddling the line so much between these two. Alright, Beowulf. Beowulf is actually a really good ruler. Beowulf is a really proper ruler, so he's right on the end with Benny. After his whole after this whole deal with Grendel and all his like warriorisms and fighting and all that hot-bloodedness were out of his system, he was actually a really good king. And speaking of good, Valkyries, their whole deal is bringing heroes to Valhalla, and heroes apparently pay their taxes. So, they're going right along, maybe a little lower than Atlanta. Billy, easy. Outlaw, what are taxes? Teach, pirate. Who's Teach? You know? Who's Blackbeard? We've never heard of them. Boudica would also pay her taxes. She's right there next to Beowulf. Well, ooh, that does depend. Are we paying taxes to Rome? No. Because if we're paying taxes to Rome... this is a tricky one, actually. Oh, no. Well, as the Rider version, this is the kind of chill version, right? She's the good, you know, the Queen of Victory, the Queen of Britannia. So we feel like she would pay her taxes. If there's ever an Avenger version of Boudica, one with, you know, burning hatred towards the Romans, she would definitely go into avoiding taxes. But as she is in her rider form, we feel like she would be, you know, that sort of good ruler, Beowulf, Benny Enma energy. Lizzie, what are taxes? Easy. Bryn, a little lower than her sisters, maybe, but she would still, she would actually ask for an extension, because she's probably on a honeymoon with Sigurd, and when she, remembers that her taxes are due, and she has to scramble a little bit. Caligula, is right there with Astolfo. Doesn't know what taxes are. Too betrayed by his sister to know what taxes are. Carmilla does not pay her taxes. Not at all. Cuchulainn, be right around Arjuna. Cascu is a good boy, a good druid. Gives back to the land as druids do, and taxes are the perfect way to give back, we think. So he pays his taxes. All right, Caster Gel. Oof. You are a good ruler, but you are not a good taxpayer. So you're right around here. You have every treasure in the world, and you would probably be like the kind of guy that taxes get paid to. So, Lizzie, again, you might as well find all versions of Lizzie and just put them in there. Kaisar, you're big Caligula vibes. Cha-Cha as well. What are taxes? She'd be right there with Astolfo, we feel. Chiron gives off Benny Enma energy, so pays her taxes. Now, Cersei... Ooh. Now, she fancies herself a queen as well, of sorts, right? But she kind of lived alone on an island forever, so she wouldn't have any concept of what taxes are. So she's kind of on this scale. And actually, we need to... Because Lizzie 100% would not pay taxes if given the option. So that means Anastasia needs to be over on this end as well. So Cersei would probably pay them if she knew what they were, but she doesn't. She's a little bird-brained. Cleo, doesn't know what taxes are, and would not pay them. She's really smart. She's really smart. No. Oh, she's so smart, though. Yeah, we feel comfortable with that decision. We're not even gonna question it. You go there with the rest of the seafarers. Berserker Q, you're right around here, you know? Actually, we're gonna rearrange this real quick. So you're right around there. All the pirates and outlaws. Right around there. You also don't know what taxes are. No, you're in the same boat as your teacher. Son, you know, it's important to remember where you came from and what you owe your livelihood to. As Cursed Arm, you know, is pretty reverent of the Great Founder. So he would make sure, and we feel like the Great Founder would pay their taxes. So we feel like in adhering to the Great Founder's principles, so too would Hassan. Da Vinci forgets 100%. Edmund would not want to cause other people strife, right? That's not his deal. He's about getting revenge, but not like doing undue harm to others, because he knows how much being betrayed sucks. So we think he would pay his taxes, but more on the higher side. Donzo, she's a good mother. She tried her best, at least. So she'd be right around here. Maybe more towards the middle. Yeah, right around here with Arjuna. You, 100%, would not pay your taxes. You're gonna go right between Carmilla and Gil, because the person you would owe taxes to would be Alexander. You would also avoid taxes kind of in the same way that Gil does. Diarmund would forget as well, but he'd be on the higher side. It's Skahak. Eon 100% pays in advance. Absolute goody two-shoes. Not as much as the rest of them, perhaps, but yeah, right below Atalanta. We feel comfortable with that position. Drake, not there, but right around here. Right around there. Archer Emiya would avoid their taxes. They're an assassin. They always gotta be on the move. They don't have time to be sitting around waiting. We're just gonna put Carrie there as well. No? Edison, he's all for America, so he would pay their taxes well in advance. Archer Emiya would forget. They're kind of in the same boat as Ku. Enkidu doesn't know what taxes are. This man is full clay, but we feel like he would be well-intentioned if he did know. Arash, also, kind of same vibes. Doesn't know, but is trying her best. Bloodaxe feels a bit lower than these other rulers here, to be honest. So he'd be right around Altera's level of pays taxes. It's kind of on the border of not knowing what they are, but paying them. Ureli would not pay taxes. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. She would probably be more of the mindset that taxes should be levied for her. All the Celts seem to be going in forgetting to ask. This feels right. This feels right. Fionn is also a pretty good ruler, actually. Which is ironic, because all the rulers would be the ones that don't pay their taxes. Because they don't have to. But this is a hypothetical where they have to. So we actually do feel like it would be sort of right around the higher end here. Fran's little baby girl. She was born out of other people's parts. She doesn't know what taxes are. She's a little baby. Fujinon is technically ineligible, but she... Ooh, Fujinon's kind of tricky, actually. She doesn't really hold any ill intention against most of society, right? You just kind of lost it for a little bit. But we feel like otherwise she'd be pretty good, like, pretty decent about it. So yeah, we're gonna put her right next to Altera. On kind of like the border of what are taxes and pays their taxes. Kotaro was raised by his mother, so they're right there. They would do it. Gawain, Knight's Honor. Of course he pays his taxes. No question about that. Geronimo. Again, we're thinking kind of from a historical standpoint. This man would not pay taxes to colonizers, but if it was like to Chaldea itself, we're gonna put him with the Caster Bros. The Silver Caster Bros. He's a pretty good dude, so, yeah. As long as they're not like the people who wronged him, he'd be a pretty good sport about it. You, 100% no. You're more on the side of taxes need to be paid to us. You don't know what taxes are. And you would not pay them if you did. Caster Giles got lost in the sauce with the demon squid, demon starfish. Doesn't know what they are. Brains turn to mush. No thoughts. Gorgon? Of course not. You would be a little lower than your sister, though, because this is more of an arrogance, and this is more of a, how dare you suggest I pay taxes sort of vibe. And this is more of a, why aren't you paying taxes to me kind of vibe. Gray is also technically ineligible. Hans would not pay taxes. This man lived his life absolutely unhinged. He'd be more... Now, you know what? He'd be obsessed with his manuscript, so he's more on the forgets and avoids taxes sort of border. Hector pays his taxes. Gonna put him with the Silver Bros. A lot of Silver Bros, right, sort of in the middle here. We're gonna put him away from Achilles, though. Helena definitely pays her taxes. But is it on time or is it ahead of time? On time or ahead of time? Is it on time or ahead of time is the question. It's ahead of time. Swimsuit Helena might not be so on time with it, but Caster would definitely ahead of time. Heracles definitely wouldn't forget. We kind of, because he's a good dude inside, right? He's just like a, yeah, he's gonna go right about there. Even with his madness enhancement, he still really cared about like Ilya. He's a generally pretty chill dude once he's not, not chill. Hijikata, you would pay in advance. You're part of the Shinsengumi, you would pay in advance. You don't get a vote in this. Hokusai doesn't know what taxes are, and she would not pay them if she did. Holmes actively avoids taxes. You cannot convince us otherwise. Asako would be, she'd probably be on the lower end of pays taxes. She's never really kind of given off the, well, she does kind of have reverence for the first Hassan as well. But it's more of a trait of cursed arms. So she'd be on the lower end. Ibaraki, both Ibaraki would neither know what taxes are, nor would she pay them, even if she did. Eliasville, you are a child. Well, Prilia. Mama Irie would forget. She's right there with Da Vinci. Ishtar, both Ishtar. Well, isn't this ironic? You know what? We're just taking a quick gander down here. Why is Blackbeard here twice? Oh my gosh, I love this sprite. We're just gonna put him up here. Oh my gosh, we love this. Where's your other one? There you go, buddy. There you go. Actually, we probably don't even need that. Get out here, Blackbeard sprite. Alright. Neither Ishtar would pay their taxes, is the point. Now, Big Alexander would pay their taxes, but yeah, right around Beowulf. Ivan, the Terrible, probably lower on the end, right around Vlad. You don't know what taxes are. You are too head empty. You're not that bad, though. You're right around these guys. You wouldn't pay your taxes even if you did know, so... Lily is ineligible. Jalter avoids taxes. And neither Jean knows what taxes are, but they would pay them if they did. You have to remember that Alter taught herself to read just so she could be better than the original. So, Jekyll, you pay your taxes. Right around here. Yeah. Jalter taught herself what taxes are specifically so she wouldn't pay them. Jinky, you also would not pay your taxes. Kama definitely would not pay her taxes. The Hero of Charity? Yeah, you're right around here, buddy. You would not pay your taxes. And actually, she had a whole cult devoted to her, so... yeah. Young Gil, right around there. King Hassan would pay their taxes, but they would do it, you know, in a sufficiently respectable time, not too soon, not too late. KP, you are literally the biggest baby ever. You are ineligible. Kintoki was raised by Raiko. He's right around Beowulf and Fionn and Boudica. Both of them. You know, actually, Rider version, a little higher. He's out cruising all night, right? So he's a little higher on the list. Kyohi, she hates lies. And tax evasion is just another form of lying. Kojiro would forget. You're right around here. Now, Artoria. I feel like all Artorias are pretty good about paying their taxes. You're a little not as great, Lancelot. Alright, Lanling, you pay your taxes. For sure. Leonidas, you would forget. You're right up here with the Celts. Flippy, you're also a large child. You're a big baby, but you're sort of up here. You would pay if you could, if you knew what they were. Lizzie, we've already established. Lucian would forget. Yeah. Lip would, yeah, she doesn't know. Lucian would forget right around with the other Lancer bros. The the Backspear boys. There we go. Lobo, 100. Well, he's a dog. Lobo is a dog. Lobo is ineligible to pay taxes. But he would avoid them. Yeah, we're just gonna. Right around the Misfits. Avoids their taxes. Lubu forgets 100%. What are taxes? What are taxes seems more appropriate for you. Right around there. Martha, you would forget. The summer variant would definitely forget. Ruler variant. Yeah, you're around here. A little higher than that, actually. We'll give you a little more credit. A little higher. Right around there. Because you're still a little battle hungry sometimes. Mash is a big old nerd, but not that big of a nerd. Not the Hari. Oh, let's put the Lizzies up here first. Where would Mata Hari be? She was pretty devoted to her cause until the moment of her betrayal. We feel like she'd be more forgetful. Little forgetful. Oh boy, Maeve. Moving on. Lily, Medusa, is a child as well. Kester. Well, Lily and Medusa. Well, Castor is. I feel like she's right. She's on the lower end here, right next to Fujinon. Older would be less likely to pay. Yeah, she's right at the end here. Medusa, you're... Hmm. What are you? What are you? Yeah, you're right about there. Melts would avoid taxes, like the plague. She'd hate that we put her next to Kiara, but it's true. Uh, Mephisto, you don't pay taxes. There's no way you pay taxes. In fact, you're worse than the pirates. You enjoy not paying taxes. Merlin, also, same deal. You enjoy not paying taxes. X, what are taxes? What are taxes? And you pay all three. Yeah, all three. Right at the end. You are a child. Chiome. She can be a little spacey sometimes, but she's well-meaning, kind of like these four. Mordred, the Knight of Treachery, are you kidding us? Yeah, get right up there. Get right up there. Swimsuit Mordred, on the other hand, would forget, but then decide not to anyways. Murasaki, Amadeus, you would forget as well, but you'd be more on the side of Hans, where you would not pay. Murasaki, you're a big ol' nerd too. Musashi and Napoleon. You're a child. You are a child nursery rhyme. Musashi would forget. No, Musashi would be... right around here. Musashi has no idea what taxes are. Napoleon, on the other hand, does know what taxes are, but pretends not to. Nero, you as well. All of you, get up there. Get up there. Yeah, right around your uncle. Oh, where'd that Nero go? Swimsuit Nero, regular Nero, Red Bride Nero go. We just saw her. Uh-oh, where is she? We lost her. We lost a Nero. Okay, seriously, where'd she go? This is... Oh, there she is. There we go. Nightingale, you pay your taxes 100%. Neza, you don't know what taxes are. But she would probably do it. You're kind of in the middle. You're definitely above. You're right around Marie and Lily. Chris, you pay your taxes. Both of you pay your taxes. You, Nobu, would ask for a deadline extension, while your Berserker form would definitely not pay their taxes. Majin, what are taxes? Okita, you're... Oh, where's Hijikata? You would pay your taxes. But you're right around. You're kind of like you're pushing it. You're pushing it, Okita. You're right around the deadline. Lucian would pay their taxes as an old man. Right around Jekyll and Arjuna. For our taxes. You're right around these three. Ibaraki and Astolfo. Okita. Not Okita. We already did Okita. Osakabe Hime. You'd be on this end. What are taxes? What are taxes, really? And then you'd probably try and squirm out of it. Not as bad as these ones. Yeah, right around Lizzie's level. You would pay your taxes right around the Silver Bros. Ozzy would not pay his taxes. You're right around here, we think. Heracles. You would also avoid your taxes. You're right around here. Har, you're a big old nerd as well. Bunyan, ineligible. Penth. We're sorry for what we said about Achilles earlier, Penth. Please have mercy on us. She is right around the same as the rulers here. She's a good queen. So she would be responsible and pay her taxes on time. Phantom, what are taxes? You don't know. But you wouldn't pay them even if you did. Now, this man lives under a stage. He does not pay his taxes. This man, yeah, no way. Proto Q actually won't be in the same one as older Q. He's more along the what are taxes sort of bracket. Right around Neza. Right there. Shin pays taxes. Right there. Right next to Valkyrie and Cascu. Samba doesn't know what taxes are. But she'd probably give it her best shot if she did. Whereas regular cats also forgot. Now, Raiko, again, big ol' nerd. The prefect version, she would pay well ahead of time. And even the Berserker version, she's right on that sort of line of paying on time and paying a little too soon. Rama, being a good ruler, gonna put him with the ruler bros. Red hair does not know what taxes are. And he would try and then kind of give up. Yep, we'll just put him right next to Lubu. That makes the most sense. Robin does not pay taxes. There's no way in hell. Put him next to Billy. Romulus. Gives me the same what are taxes vibe as Jean. And then, actually, none of you would pay taxes, even if you knew what they were. Well, Alter wouldn't. The others would. Fran. Again, Saber Diamond has almost no characterization other than being Diamond with Sabers last we checked. Ryoma would pay their taxes. Just kind of middle of the line, middle of the road, pay their taxes. Just get it done with. Saber Fran doesn't know what taxes are. But she's like Alter, she'd give it her best. Giles, good Giles pays their taxes, but right around the level of Lancelot. Salieri would forget. 100% Salieri would forget. He'd be right on that line of forgetting and being like, what the hell are taxes? Why are you bothering me with this? This isn't music. Alter Ruler, or Rider, Alter Saber, Artoria. Artoria Alter Rider. Does not pay your taxes, is the point. You can't be bothered. Santa needs to set a good example for the children. So she'd forget to pay. Whereas you don't know what taxes are, just straight up. In kind of like the just ignorant, unaware sort of way. Now, normal skahak. We don't know. We don't know how to pronounce it. You two are just one and the same. You are just literally her with a swimsuit on. You said so in the event. Now, Sanson. Sanson would pay taxes. Sanson was a revolutionary. Sanson was a French revolutionary. He would 100% pay his taxes, and he'd be good about it. He's right next to Ku. Sherazade would pay their taxes because she's a big old nerd and scared of getting audited and dying in prison. You would not pay your taxes. There's no way. You're going right next to Gil. Maybe a little lower. You know what? You're right. Yeah. That's why you two mesh so well. Serenity, probably the same level as Asuka over here. Shakespeare, where are your fellow artists? Right here. You would just pay your taxes. You're not great about it, but you're not, ahead of time. You're busy being a monarch, an emperor, so it's understandable. Shiva enjoys paying her taxes. She's like right along this level of paying taxes, not because she has any like grand destiny like the rest of these individuals have. She just has a lot of fun with it. She would probably open up like her own tax-paying firm and help everyone else with it. Yeah, right around there. Right around there feels appropriate for Shiki. And right around, we'll separate. We'll put Shiome in between you two. This as a buffer. Shootin', there's no way any version of Shootin' pays taxes. In fact, we should probably move a couple people up. Because there are a certain number of people who would not only not pay their taxes, but actively spend that money on literally anything else. And we're thinking some lovely purple Kohais and a couple purple Onis. Just actively like disregarding tax laws to spend it on themselves. Now, Siegfried, you're right around here. You big old nerd. Sieg doesn't know what taxes are. Right around with Saber Fran. Sigurd, you'd pay your taxes. You're right around here with Beowulf. And Kentoki and Rama. Rhinez, you'd probably forget, to be honest. You'd probably forget. She I mean, well, actually, no, because she's like she's the head of the family. So she'd begrudgingly pay taxes, we think. She's the head of the family, and she's kind of got enemies on every side. So she's got to make sure that her slate is, like, clean. You would also pay taxes. Yeah, Rhinos can't let anyone get even the slightest bit of dirt on her. You also don't know what taxes are. Taxes are oppression. You're right there with Mordred. You, Saber Artoria, fully forgot. Same vibe as Santa Altar. George, you pay in advance. You are a big old nerd, too. You're right around Mash's level. Steno, are you kidding us? Absolutely not. Suzuka does not. She's actually really smart. So she would probably pay her taxes. She's right around Benny's level, probably. Maybe a little lower. Right around Atlanta, yeah. Put our animal-eared girls right next to each other. Tyga. Yeah. Yep. As Jaguar Warrior. Sorry, but Kat would pay her taxes, 100%. She would try her best, so it'd pretty much amount to, like, not paying taxes, because it's probably all incorrect, but she'd try. You know, we'll put her on, like, the very end here. Tamamo is a good housewife, so she'd be very diligent about these kinds of things, whereas Lancer Tamamo is a little more airheaded, got a little more romance on the brain. She'd be right around Irie and Martha's level. Tesla, you just pay. You're not so gung-ho about it. You'll pay. You're right around this level. Tomoe, you would also pay, but you're a little goofy sometimes, so you're right with Martha. You two are kind of in the same boat. Tota would be pretty good about it, we think. Yeah, right around... Yeah, the Great Founders level. We didn't really mention it much, but Natakris would be a lot higher than Kyo. Because she she feels like she has a lot to prove. No, she feels like inferior as a pharaoh compared to the rest, so she thinks she has to do a really good job on it, and to earn respect befitting of a pharaoh. Brad, you're good. You're good, but honestly, you're not much better than us, Stolfo. Chloe, you are a child. Neither Ushi knows what taxes are. Let's be very real about this. Let's be very, very real. And even if she did, there's no way she's paying taxes. Tristan, you're right there with your night buddies. You're probably a little lower, actually. You're right around Napoleon level. Wu would begrudgingly pay. She's right around here. And then Summer Ushi is even worse. Here we go. Here's Vlad. So he would be really good, same as Beowulf. Very good warrior king. So he would be, well, very effective at the least. To quote ERB, putting his feet up on ottomans like he's furniture shopping, you get shit done. And shit includes doing taxes. Charlotte would... We'll wait till we get to Charlotte. We'll wait. Why is there another Ishtar? Didn't we already put 2 Ishtars up here? Yeah, why is there another Ishtar? Whatever. Why are there more Mecha Ellies? Alright, Waver, regardless, you're in the same boat as your adopted sister here. Where is she? You have to be a little more diligent, because otherwise you're going to get your ass kicked by her. Jiangyu, you're right around Chiron's level. Horsemen, gotta stick together. Yagu, you are right around with Qin, we think. Sanzang doesn't know what taxes are. Xinshin would be... probably also doesn't know what taxes are, to be very honest. Yumerin... she just can't be bothered. She can't be bothered. It's less that she intentionally avoids taxes and more like she just can't exert the effort to do so. Lancelot would pay taxes. Lancelot would pay taxes ahead of time because he still feels really bad about betraying his king. So he needs to make up for that by being the best knight he possibly can. Then the other Valkyries. Portland would be right there with Thrud, and Hilda would be probably a bit lower, right next to Chiome. Ganesha, Janako, forgets and has to ask for an extension, but she doesn't want to pay. She's right around there. Lakshmi would also kind of forget. And that'd just be her bad luck playing into it. You would pay your taxes ahead of time. You are all about the balance of good and evil, so you'd be right next to Estrella. Whereas Ash would avoid the taxes like the plague. You wouldn't be quite as bad as the rest of these folks, though. Be right around here. Hell pays their taxes on time. I like how we have just like the normal citizenry in the middle there. Asclepius, you would forget. Mao. Mao, you would be right around here as well. Pays their taxes. That's kind of like an afterthought. And we don't need these others. And where'd these other Lizzies go? Anyone else? We saw another Ishtar somewhere, didn't we? Yep. Let's drop these to the bottom. Alright. Mori. I mean, you're pretty dedicated to your lord when you have one, so you would be pretty good about it. Kagatora would be right at the end here with her fellow cat. Also, let's get rid of Blackbeard. Is a sentence I'm sure many people have said in Chaldea before. Gareth, you're right there with Gawain. Where's your brother? Where's your brother, Gareth? Honestly, you're probably a little bit better, so you're right around here. To be honest, now, Jason, where are you going, Jason? You're a really smart guy, Jason. So, yeah, we feel like he'd be a little above these rulers. Yeah, just below Chiron. Feels right. Paris, you don't know what taxes are. And also, no one will let you pay them even if they did. But we're going to put you up here. What are taxes? Right around Sieg and Fran. Chengong pays their taxes, but begrudgingly so. Bart, get up there with the rest of the pirates. No way. No way in hell. Alright. Da Vinci Lily would pay her taxes. Where is our caster form that we have somewhere? Oh, the caster form was up. Actually, you are a child as well. Nobody would accept taxes from you. Charlotte would also forget, in a sort of airheaded way. Salome, where would you go? Where would you go? You don't think she'd necessarily pay her taxes. She's kind of like Ushi and Oki. Kind of like, what are those? What are taxes? Enlighten us. Another version of Melt that would not pay their taxes. And this version of Oki would also not know what taxes are. Musashi, I mean, well, a lot of these swimsuits can go pretty much right next to their original forms. Alright, Ruler Artoria. Put you right next to Lancer Artoria. You're a phantom thief, allegedly, so you would actively not have anything to do with taxes. So you're kind of like right up there with the pirates, actually. Outlaws. We're just gonna put this Astolfo with the other Astolfo. This Hokusai is younger and much more naive than this Hokusai. Okita. Both Okitas are kind of little. You would not pay taxes. This version of Space Ishtar, absolutely not. And where are the other Avengers? Right around here. Jane, I mean, you're an outlaw as well, so on principle, right next to Billy there. Santa, of course, where's our regular Nightingale? Because Santa's got to set a good example for the children. So Santa has to pay taxes. And did we have Nightingale up here yet? Or is she just in a different category that we're not seeing her yet? She's right around Heracles' level. Summer Ilya is still a child. Arise is still a child. Europa, same kind of vibe as Helena. Oh, Summer Helena, though. Whereas Summer Helena and Europa are going to get it done in a timely manner. You're not going to rush too much. Super Orion doesn't know what taxes are. Mandy, oh, of course, you pay taxes, you sweet, sweet summer child. You. You don't know what taxes are. There's absolutely no way. You, Paris, and C can figure that out together. Odysseus, you are a master tactician, so you know the importance of paying taxes. So you're actually right around Chiron and Xiang Yu. Canis, you don't pay taxes. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're not, though. The Dioscuri, Pollux probably gets Castor to pay, but he's probably like super belligerent about it. Not like mean, because he'd never be mean to his dear sister, but he's probably like grumbling about it the whole time. Your Romulus Quinarius is gonna go right next to Beowulf and Kentucky and all these other guys. Probably a little lower. Probably right next to Suzuka, actually. We don't really know anything about Koyo Kyo, except for that she's an Oni dinosaur, which is cool. So I mean, she kind of took care of Voyager and Arise in Requiem, right? He's kind of like a responsible figure. Yeah. Voyager is ineligible. Voyager is a child. Castoria doesn't know what taxes are. She's right around Jean. Summer Kiara also avoids her taxes. More on principle than anything else. Summer Abby is still a child. Bryn, you would also probably forget, if we're being fully honest. Summer Yu still would not pay her taxes. Tomoe would forget. Did we have regular Tomoe up here? Summer Tomoe is a gamer, though. She would fully forget to do her taxes. It'd be like 12 o'clock on April 19th, and she'd rip off her VR headset and be like, oh no, we forgot. Murasaki, you're still a big ol' nerd. You're still a big ol' nerd. Doesn't matter if you have a swimsuit on. Himiko. I don't really know a lot about Himiko. So we're just gonna put her right here. Right at the lower end of pays your taxes. We know you're part of the Shinsengumi. So you'd probably be on the same level as like Hector and Gawain. Not quite as bad as Okita, but also not as intense as Hijikata. Speaking of Hijikata, we're gonna put you, Nobukatsu, right up there, because you are probably doing your taxes and Nobu's taxes, because Nobu either forgot or refuses. And there are at least 2 Nobus that you've got to worry about, so that's 3 sets of tax forms you've got to fill out, my guy. And that's only if you're filing federally. Like, never mind the state taxes. Whew. We do not envy you, buddy. We do not envy you. Alright, Van Gogh also doesn't know what taxes are. That's pretty easy. Nemo, you would pay your taxes. You're pretty good about your taxes. Suna, we're going to put you right next to Yagu, Vitra, and Ibuki, and Domon. Will not pay your taxes. Vitra would not pay her taxes. For the hell of it. She's like right, yeah, she's right up there. Ibuki would probably more likely not really get it. So she's like on the lower end of avoiding taxes. Santa Carna, you would just pay your taxes. Because you're not as your mindset's a little younger than regular Karna. So you wouldn't get it done quite as early. Ramps, Senji Murasama, you would pay your taxes. right around Raiko. Yeah. Yeah, this is a pretty good lineup, actually. Grandmas and grandpas right here. Well, don't tell Raiko we said she was a grandma. She won't like that. Kagekyo would not do her taxes. Just like Canis. Karen, Kichi Hogan is on the lower end, probably. Right next to Himiko. Aleta does not know what taxes are. She's just like Fran. For real, for real. You know, we're gonna move regular Fran up here. Probably a little higher. Right next to Salome. Karen, well, Karen, as we all know, knows that money makes the world go round, so why would she ever give it up? Sorry, Angra. Miss Crane, I mean, if she doesn't pay her taxes, her idol business might get shut down. So, she has to. She has to. She's got no choice. Etchan also doesn't know what taxes are. But you'd be more like Flippy and X. Morgan 100% does not pay taxes in any timeline. There is no way. Koyanska as well. You're right next to Domon. And there we go. We'll put a buffer between Angra and Karen. You're welcome. Barguest, you are... We're going to put you right here with Atalanta, and Suzuka. Melusine, we are going to put more on the lower end, where she doesn't want to pay taxes and also forgets. Whereas Bavon, I mean, like mother, like daughter, she learned from the best, didn't she? Percival, right next to your night buddies. Probably a little higher than Gawain. Probably a little higher than most of them. Right around Gareth, you know? Habertrot definitely pays her taxes. More like Altera does, and kind of like, what the hell are we doing? Oberon does not pay taxes. Summer Okita does not know what taxes are. Actually, she has Rengoku now. So she'd be more liable to pay her taxes because Rengoku actually has a physical form. Kind of spur her on. So she'd try not to pay her taxes, but then Rengoku would absolutely get on her case about it. And they'd help her, guide her through as she tries to do her taxes. And they get through it. It takes a while, but they'll get through it. Charlotte. Where is Summer Charlotte? Right next to regular Charlotte. Canis is surprisingly more chill, so she'll probably just forget when she's in her summer form. Kind of like Tomoe and Bryn. Elder. Summer, still not paying taxes, but not as egregiously as regular, Summer say, Jacques de Molay. You're an outer god, but outer gods do still pay their taxes sometimes. So you're right around the lower end, right next to Mori. Feels good. Zenobia, you're going in the Rulers Club. Elizabeth is a princess. She neither knows nor would have to pay taxes. Ranmaru... she's kind of... I mean, she is Mori's sister. so she might be a little higher than him. I don't really know much about Okuni either. Actually, a lot of these later servants here don't know a ton about Okuni, but we do know she's a performer. And as we all know, performers are artists, and artists don't like to pay taxes. So we're going to put her in the forgot category. I'll put her on the lower end of the forgot category. Right, Lancer Ryoma will go just right next to Rider Ryoma. Maybe a little higher, because he is a married man now. Lily Martha. Where is Lily Medea? Right there. I feel like she's in the same boat. We don't remember your name, TBH, but we also don't get a lot of tax vibes from you, based off what we do remember. To kind of be like, cheekily, what are taxes? You are Koyanska's mother. And say what we will about how well you raised them, you are trying to do your best, so you are also ineligible. You are a child. Koyanska of Dark. I mean, both of them are kind of shitheads, so. Hephaestion is Alexander's doppelganger, technically. So she would not do as great a job, but she would still pay her taxes. Now, Bazette is a member of the church, so technically she's tax exempt. The Troon sisters, again, we don't know a lot about them. So we don't really like this is truly like we don't know what their deal is. We'll just put them kind of in the middle. They don't seem like big tax avoiders. They don't seem like big taxpayers. Same deal with you. Although you do seem a little more gremlin-y. But aren't you also a child? Super Bunyan is also a child. These are literal mice. Gareth is a little more free-spirited. So you're gonna go right next to Charlotte and Matahari. Charlemagne and Constantine would pay their taxes. No doubt about that. Right next to ruler Artoria, Mary Anning. Don't know a lot about her either, historically or from Fate. I do know she's an archaeologist, right? So she's probably out in the field more often than not, so she probably forgot. Roland fully forgot. 100%. No question about that. No, Krem, you pay your taxes. You're right around Mandy Ricardo. Don Quixote, I mean, at the risk of sounding, insensitive, you forget a lot of things. So you would pay your taxes if you remembered, but you didn't. We don't know who you are, or you. We do know who you are, though. You're cool as hell. So you going right around here. You're going right with Ku and Suna. Proto Marlin, absolutely not. You're right with your human counterpart. Ark does not know what taxes are. Nor does she feel the need to pay them. Not quite as intensely as Astolfo, only right around Artemis level. they're basically the same thing, right? They're extra human entities that just look human but have power beyond what any magecraft can produce. So they don't really know the ins and outs of human society. Zufu would definitely not pay taxes either. Uh, yeah, right around the end. Ibuki goes with Ibuki. And then all the Valkyries, I mean, there's not much point. But we will put the other Valkyries right up here. We're not trying to say Hilda's the worst Valkyrie in terms of anything. In fact, we think she's the best Valkyrie. We like her Genki attitude a lot. Definitely the worst at paying taxes, though. Portland and Hilda. These three aren't really necessary. Summer Scotty is right up there with regular Scotty, which is right here. Arise, you are a child. Again. Now, you, regular or grown-up Wu, would be probably a little bit higher than younger Wu. Oh, we forget your name. But you're grandpa or grandma. Well, technically, grandpa energy. So, a little lower than Helena and Europa right there. But above Hassan. You blew your sister's popularity out of the water. We know that much. So, oh, you'd be right around Tomatomo. And we know, aren't you also one of the Shinsengumi? So you'll be right around here. Now you are the only thing we really know about her is she's a big old crybaby. So she's right around here. We feel what we've seen of her. Oh, and you're the Birdman. You're the Birdman. You're a good dude. Not as great as them in terms of mental prowess, but you're right around here on the list. And then that's baby Ellie. You are literally a child again. Noel Spacious Star is also an outlaw. So we'll just stick you with Jane. And Astarte would be. Oh, hello. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, whew. Ah, ah. That would have been bad. That was almost very bad. Almost very, very bad. Alright, let's reorganize. All these down at the bottom. We already have Mecha Ellie. 1 and 2. We already have an Ishtar. We already have Blackbeard. And the Valks. Alright, Guido Mart. You are right around here, we'll say. Somewhere around here, because you're not. I mean, she's not particularly clever. So right around Chiome, I'll say. Now, Nataka's altar. You would not be so desperate to pay your taxes. You would, but it wouldn't be like a pressing matter for you. Not as much as regular Natokris. This man would absolutely not pay their taxes. you go in an ufotable. You would 100% use that to buy, like, some shit to kill people with. Tez. Uh-oh, we lost Tez. Where'd you go? There you are. Oh. Tez does not pay taxes. Tez is in the same boat as the Merlins. Why would he? Now, 10, Tlaloc. You would pay your taxes 100%. You would enthusiastically do so. Because you are a little city, and cities thrive off infrastructure. So, right around here, actually, Kulkin, you do not know what taxes are. And where is Samba? Where's Samba Kets? I'll put you right around Enkidu and Burrito Mart. Arash Altar is literally just Arash, but with dark skin. So where did we put Arash? Right there. That makes sense. Opiohana. You're right around with Constantine. We'll put you with Yabu. We don't know who you are either. You know what? Actually, we're gonna move Bazat. Bazat would 100%. You're right around with the Celts. I mean, that makes sense. That does track. Right, we don't know you. You know what? No time like the present. So what are we looking at? We're looking at a rider. We're looking at an assassin. No, we're looking at a caster. And an archer. We do know he was super popular lately when you released. That's like the extent of our knowledge. Baikon. Bakin. Bakin. Alright, let's read a little bit about you. One of Japan's foremost authors of the late Edo period, his works include the Eight Dog Chronicles and Strange Tales of the Crescent Moon. Furthermore, Kisei Suikoden and Kinsei Setsu, Bishonen Roku, and many other works are among those he has penned. Many of his works were illustrated by the ukiyo-e artist Hokusai. Oh! Neat! One family, although harboring that pride within his heart, Bakin was the first full-time writer of Japan. His natural talent, okay. Okay. The fifth son, Hamitomo, he served as a page of his son, former shoe merchant, clerk to the publisher Tatsuya, and teacher of penmanship. He decided to become a novelist at 24. 36 years, he traveled to Kyoto and Osaka, where he got the opportunity to meet the literary personnel of Kamigata. Since then, he began earnestly publish his reading books, much of his romance. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so they seem pretty middle of the road, honestly. Kind of like Tell. So yeah, we're just gonna put them right there. Now, who's this old guy? Who's this old dude? Zhang Zhu? Zhui? I don't know if you pronounce that right. Probably not. And then Takasugi Shinsaku. Is that it? Yes, that is. For what it's worth, the art is lovely. Alright, what's your deal? A maverick and Meiji restoration patriot who gallantly entered the scene in Choshu at the end of the Edo period. And the four heavenly, known as one of the four heavenly kings of Shoka Sonjuku, showed great promise. He has a wild temperament and is a troublemaker who is willing to go to do anything as long as he finds it amusing. Okay, that's kind of all we needed to hear. Like a sheep farmer at the end of their career, we've heard enough. Would not pay their taxes. Alright. Now last, we don't know, Jiangzhou. Founder of a religious organization known the Way of Great Peace. The figure who led his followers in the Yellow Turban Rebellion. Alright. Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Okay, so he's Chinese individual. Launched an armed rebellion. Okay, so you are also not paying taxes. You are also not paying your taxes. Acted towards the virtuous goal of a peaceful world that everyone was happy, but did those unscrupulous means. Yep, that tracks. Alright. And Mother would 100% pay her taxes. She'd probably be... Yeah, she'd be on the lower end of water taxes. Alright. Moment of truth. I'm saving these three servants because we don't know how it would go. Now, Moriarty. Well, let's start with Say. Absolute ball of energy. Wild child. Absolute unpredictable. Nobody knows what she's gonna do. At any point. Now, Now, this is the same person who, like, kind of shit-talk a peasant just for virtue of them being a peasant at one point, allegedly, according to some historical documents. And also she was kind of, like, just weird and a free spirit among the court. So she was, she's the educated kind of person who's, like, smart, but, like, doesn't apply that to, what would normally be seen as responsible outlets. So we feel like she ranks pretty high on the what our tax is. And I don't think she avoids... Yeah. We're gonna put her right with Ibaraki. Because she's just zooming around. She's not doing her taxes. She doesn't care. Taxes are for peasants. Now, Moriarty, the thing about Moriarty, criminal for hire, genius mastermind. Now, the thing about crime is that with crime, we don't think he would avoid taxes, That's the thing. We don't think he would avoid taxes. It's fun, I think a lot of people would be like, oh, he's a criminal. He would definitely avoid taxes, ha ha ha. We don't think that. Because the thing with crime is if you're a master criminal, if you are doing big stuff, if you're robbing the First National Bank of England, we don't know if that's a thing, but if you are, like, just coming up with some incredibly complex and genius criminal scheme, you don't want to get busted because you ran a red light, right? If you're on your way to rob a bank and you get pulled over because you didn't stop on red and you get busted for that, that's like Al Capone getting busted for tax evasion. That's literally, or tax fraud, or some kind of fraud, insurance fraud, not tax evasion. You want to follow the small, inconvenient laws in order to get away with the big crime, right? And that's why we genuinely think he would pay his taxes, because he's not dumb enough. Like, but that's all like assuming that he even has like official notice under James Moriarty, because he would be the kind to have like multiple names, multiple identities, right? He wouldn't just be James Moriarty. That would be only like the real name that Sherlock has to know after ages of digging, right? So under his, but even under the pseudonyms, if they don't pay their taxes, like people are going to be like, "What the hell is up? What's up with that?" So we do genuinely think he pays his taxes, but it's kind of like it'll be, we're going to put him next to Rhinus, where it's like a begrudging paying of taxes. We do think that the younger version, we're going to put it, younger version is a little higher there. And then the older version is a little lower on the scale, because the older version is going to be a bit more mellow, and younger version is going to be a bit more hot-headed. It's like, oh man, I've got to pay these fucking taxes. Whereas the older one's like, yep, this is just something I have to do in order to get away with robbing literally everyone. And technically this guy's different than other Nobu. So where would we place you? You do give off kind of like himbo energy. Kind of like water taxes. Right next to Nessa, we think. Alright. Last one. Maeve. Now we have to do this right. We have to do this justice. Because if we get the stream idea from Maeve's #1 fan, and we put Maeve in the wrong category, they may very well come for our head. They may very well come for our head. The internal thoughts. There's so many internal thoughts right now. Maeve is a good ruler. Maeve is a really good ruler, like, objectively speaking. In terms of, like, well, maybe not objectively speaking. Is there such thing as a good ruler? She gets pretty damn close. She's clever. She's smart. She is willing to do what it takes in order to get what she wants, right? Classic girl boss. You go, girl. But okay, so let's think of it this way. Maeve will do whatever she needs to get what she wants, right? But probably due to her history, she's not a big fan of being made to do something that she doesn't want to do. So it all comes down to how she feels about taxes, right? She's oh my gosh, she can be difficult to read sometimes. Because like in the idol event, she doesn't want to be taken pity on. But so like, if offers are made to her without looking down on her, she's fine with it, right? She's not insane. She's very clever. She's very empathetic. She knows how people work. Oh no. We can't. So let's do this. Let's do this. When you eliminate the impossible, what remains, no matter how far-fetched, is the only logical answer, or something like that. Sherlock, look it up. It's something like that. So she's clearly very not ineligible. She definitely doesn't pay in advance. And she definitely both knows what taxes are. Oh my god, this is not helping. She knows what taxes are, and she doesn't forget. She's too smart for that. So she either pays her taxes, she avoids her taxes. You know what? She might be in the ufotable category. She will do what she needs to. And if that means paying taxes or avoiding them, and then spending that money, spending those resources on what she needs. This feels like a dig, though. It feels like a dig. I mean, look who else is up here. If it wasn't these 5, we'd put her up here with no hesitation. How does she feel about Kyrie? No. We're doing it. We're doing it. It's the only one that feels right. It's the only one that feels right. All right, yep. We don't see any other option. We don't see any other option. All right. Well, this is it. This is it. Let's take a long gander. We've got our top-ranked tax avoiders up here. We've got just below them our standard tax avoiders. Coming down further, got our people who forgot, whether maliciously or not. Hello. And we've got all our good boys and girls who don't know what taxes are. Don't know, and mixed levels of willingness to pay them upon finding out. Actually, Astarte would probably be higher. Just a little bit. We're like right between Salome and Fran. Undecided, basically. Now we've got our goody two-shoes that would absolutely pay their taxes on time and in full. Gosh, we need to stop doing that. We need to... Alright, mouse over here. And then we've got our big old nerds at the bottom who would pay way before they needed to. And the child servants and other that probably would not have their tax returns accepted because these are children and Asterios and technically Gray and Maurice, but children, basically children. These two aren't much older than Abby, right? Yeah. All right. Well, everyone else down here is either a copy or basically a copy. You didn't need to put all 3 Valkyries up there again. Anyways, so this will be the conclusion of tonight's stream. As always, if you've made it with us this far, we thank you for joining us. We shall be over on Twitch this coming Sunday, as we usually are, for some, Fallout 76 this week? Warframe? We forget. Probably Fallout 76. And we will be back next week, hopefully wrapping up our finales of both In Other Waters and Heavenly Bodies. same week. That's quite exciting. So we hope to see you there. And until we next meet, we hope you have a good day, good night, or good morning wherever you are. And we shall see you next time.